Two Davids. Susie, so that would be there.
Is your guys' food here?
No, we're having Domino's delivered.
Okay. I think we'll go ahead and start. And it's going to be a circus.
Just excuse me, go get this.
Well, I think if each member of the family goes and gets their stuff to make their hoagies at their table, and then when they're done doing that, then they can go back and get desserts, drink, and cheers, and whatever else is in there. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm really glad everybody's here, especially my brother David. And Kimberly and Fernando from Oregon, because they had to go a long ways. What's further, Tucson or Oregon?
It's the same.
Same. Ken and Sandy's from out of town, and where's your husband? Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, but there's a lot of people from public. From Provo, Utah.
Where's your David?
He'll be here shortly, just like everybody else.
Oh, here's somebody just went.
I think we'll go ahead and say a prayer. Do you have any volunteers for prayer? You volunteer for prayer? Tell me your name. Jessica, come say prayer.
Our dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you that we get up someday and that we can have a fun family reunion and that we could sit together as a family and bless the food and strengthen our bodies. See these things in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Jessica. Yes. Start it off.
Did you don't count? You don't got fingers and toes?
Why don't you wait till the end and then we'll speak here and then we can ask. Okay, you guys, we're eating on carpet, so try to be as careful as possible. So go get your hoagies, make them at your table, and then we'll go back to dessert and drink.
Over here because I want to be on the floor.
I am sorry.
She is wearing purple blouse. That's Jordan. She's daughter number 2.
Okay, how many have a green car? Green. Raise your hand. Okay. Check it off. If you write down that person's name if you have a green car.
Who's got the same color car as you?
Okay. The same color green car as you. Okay. Okay, who did you get, Michael? Okay, anybody who has Don, that's a point off. You don't get a point for that. Who did you get? Who has green card? Keep your hand up. Fernando.
John B.
Anybody who has John, take it off. Michelle? You had me? Okay, if there's another person that had it, okay, it's gonna work. Okay, well then we'll drop it, okay?
Let's just.
No, we get it.
Okay, okay. If you have the same birthday as you, everybody who has a birthday in January, that was short, we can't do it. February?
Benjamin.
Three people. Okay,
Why didn't you just bring the list we have to make sure that all this stuff?
because it was wrong. Number 15 is wrong as Susie.
Yeah, it's wrong.
Oh, sorry, Susie.
Okay, number 3 is, number 3, answer.
Jordan.
Okay, everybody that's ready to race?
M.
Okay, everybody that does not wear glasses or contacts?
Susie.
I got a little.
That works, that works. Okay. Who's hit a home run? This is hard.
Almost hit a home run.
Okay, who can ride a two-wheeler? Younger than 10.
Jessica can.
Okay, forget number 8, I blew it. Everybody who was born out of the country.
Fernando, Queta.
Everybody who's teaching primary.
Doug, Susie. Oh, wow. Doug, Susie.
Okay, Ina, can you answer 11? Answer it.
South Dakota.
Rapid City, South Dakota.
How many people have climbed to the top, to the very top of Mount Timpanogos?
I do every day. 1964.
Okay.
I can't go now.
Okay, skip number 13, number 14. Mother, can you answer? Number 8, how many kids were in your family? 12 kids, and she's number 8. Okay, 15, I looked on my other list and I had Benjamin as the 6th, so I'm sorry, Susie. But the answer also, the other grandkid is Stacy Bevan. She was born on the 6th. Ben was born on the 9th. Maybe the 9th and the 6th got turned around.
I have Stacy too.
Okay, who served in the military?
John Bell.
I did.
And so did Vern, but he's not here. Okay, we'll skip 17. Number 18, how many people have gone to the emergency room first? Okay, who has an L in their name?
That's about 300.
Okay, who's had a broken bone? Okay, who's ridden in a helicopter?
I am. Thousands of us.
Or who does not play a musical instrument? Okay, you guys aren't alone. Okay, who's had a chicken pox in the past year?
Get the line. How many is get the ring in a helicopter?
What is that?
I don't know. All you younger kids, how many have had chicken pox? This last year? Okay, we'll skip 24. 25, I'd just like to, you guys raise your hand and tell us if you think you got a good one for Halloween. Would you ask Sandy?
Jeannie.
Sandy.
Jeannie.
Susie.
I asked my son Benjamin, he was Cosmo and was on the front page of the Herald with Merrington.
How fun! Tawni was a witch? And you were a witch? Oh, your wife was a witch. And John?
Leah was a Charlie Brown angel
Just
devil.
a minute. John's talking.
Leah was a Charlie Brown angel devil, right?
Charlie's angel.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else want to say what they got for Halloween? David?
We went to Richard Church, Gomez Jr., and Alex on the best costume.
Esther,
No, little Alex Santa.
we can start for lunch here.
She was Snow White.
Snow White. Okay. Okay, how many of you have a driver's license have never gotten a ticket?
Mother.
No, we got a warning.
Parking ticket.
Oh, I asked and they said no, so
Okay, number 27, number 28, Doug, can you answer? Can you stand up? Stand up, Doug. How tall are you?
not tall enough.
Okay, who went skiing this past season? Okay, number 30, can the Phantom please answer number 30?
The Phantom, I gave it out too many times. My brother David.
Okay, I got some little books. I teach school, you know, and I got little books, and I have some that are in Spanish, and I don't think the adults need any gift, but I want the little kids to have a book. But I'd like to kind of, you know, tell you what you're going to have, because some are in Spanish and some are in Spanish, and some are older and some are younger. So if you want to approach me later on, I'll let you pick a book that is appropriate for your family for the younger kids. Now I'm going to turn the time over to Marina. And after Marina, I have a surprise.
I'm not talking to you, you lie. You might be careful.
Okay, you guys. No, we're going to need it. No, we're going to need the pencil. Huh? Well, yeah, but she told me, I asked her, have you been in a helicopter? And she said, no.
I've been in several helicopters. Even military helicopters.
I have been in one, and that was enough. I was in Mario Disneyland.
Okay, I got some good news and some bad news. Okay? But on a serious note, this is a serious note. Something really, really nice happened to me. When was it? Friday. Yeah. Friday. Okay. This is a serious note, and it really touched my heart. So I want you to really pay attention, okay? And I hope you don't get upset. But Elvia called me Friday, and she was hollering and screaming about she didn't want anything to do with her birthday, which means she does. And the thing that was really good about it was she was so excited about some of the people that she's been teaching the gospel up in the hills, and they're getting baptized. And that wasn't the bright part about it, but the bright part that really touched my heart was that in her excitement about telling me about these people getting baptized and how she helped them along and everything, she bore her testimony to me. And how grateful she was that she was born in the church and that she belonged to the church, and how wonderful the gospel was. And you know, we're always worried about Elvia, I love you dearly. But she bore her testimony without really knowing that she was bearing her testimony. And it just really gave me a lot of joy. And it just, it made me feel that my sister is a great sister. Okay? Now, the bad news. The bad news is, I haven't worked in our genealogy for the past eons. However, I'll repent. I'm handing out these family group sheets so that we can fill them out, because I don't know where a lot of people were born, and the list that Luis made is really nice, but it doesn't give us the information for family group sheets.
the married couples. And, oh yeah, put your phone number, email on the back, okay? An address. Yes, please.
Will you make sure that all of us get a copy of this summary?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can all fill it out. In the meantime, I'll tell you, as you guys fill it out, I'll, okay, here's Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave. Okay, Elvia, do you have one? Okay, start filling it out. Duane needs one.
Yes, Calvin?
No, Duane, you need one. You need one?
I tried to give him one.
Okay.
To who?
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Okay. Now, if anybody has trouble filling them out, do you have one? Don't you guys know your baptismal date? Oh, okay. Well, you don't, okay. Listen. You don't have to fill out the baptismal or endowment dates or the sealing to parents. You don't have to fill out this part. Okay? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. As you're filling it out, I'll tell you about the shooting at the library. Okay? But you have to promise to fill it out while I'm talking. Okay? Okay, is anybody having problems knowing how to fill it out?
What's my dad's name?
There's more. Let's see. You're the only one that has it. Just fill it out right here, number 8. Okay? How are we doing? Okay, Elvia needs a lapis. Kimberly's little girl has a lapis. And Bella has a lapis. Okay. There's money. Kimber, are you filling yours out? Well, why don't you fill one?
WhatsApp paper, maybe. You'll see it. Like Rebecca is Becky. Shawn Marshall.
Hey, please, how many places do you need on this? You want to know
Right here. You start up here and the 72 questions, okay?
Very well, we need you.
Okay?
¿Cómo es el nombre de mi mamá? María Esther Gómez ¿cuánto? Gómez ¿qué? Y otra vez.
Su apellido.
Your dad's name
Mine was born in Salt Lake. Oh, your mom was born in
Okay.
What day will be sealed to mother and father? I don't know that.
I'll fill that out. The ordinance work you don't have to worry about. I'll get it from you later. I just need the years and stuff. Okay, is there anybody that doesn't have know how to fill it out or is having problems? Yes, middle name.
Do we have to fill out the back?
Only if you have more than 3 kids.
Okay, sorry.
What if you don't know the exact date?
The family food sheet is right here. This is the front.
I got it.
Okay? Only if you have more than 3 kids, then you go to the back. Yes.
What if we don't have the exact dates of our endowment or baptism?
You don't have the ordinance states you don't have to. I'll get them from you later.
We have to look it up.
Yeah. Okay, how we doing?
I'm done.
You're done?
I turned that in first.
Oh, I was done first.
But you were saying you were telling I was faster.
You're not following instructions.
Michelle, what's up first?
They didn't say to turn it in.
There's our order, please.
You are out of order. She did not say to turn it in. So you're a problem child.
Now you tell us.
You tell us to turn it in, right?
Yes, middle name, the whole complete name. What if you don't know? Well, you figure your child, don't you know your child's middle name? Oh, you didn't?
That's how you fill out parents. I know my husband's middle name. I know your parents' middle name.
July 31. Here you go.
What year?
When we actually so she's not over yet.
Whatever.
Sorry, Rachel.
Okay, you guys. Okay, how about David? Have you filled one out? Where is it?
Supposed to hand it
Esther, have you filled yours out?
David, you have another name besides David? David Frederick?
I'm going to take a risk here and ask you a question.
Cindy?
What? Hey, Mary, I need more.
I said I'm going to take a risk and ask a question. I don't want to get into any altercation here, but I am very concerned about our genealogy and our ancestors. And I know that probably everyone in this room is very guilty, or maybe not, of doing genealogy work. And Marina has done most of it. But one day I took a genealogy class in Sunday school, and we had the opportunity to go and look up our ancestors on the computer. And I could not find my father, and I could not find my mother. What is going on?
Because you're alive.
No, you can.
Ancestral file, I never turned it into the ancestral files because we had so many mistakes.
Okay, if you haven't done that, then is their work not done?
Yes.
Their work is not done.
No,
Their work is done.
Oh, yes.
So if we went to look up our ancestors on the computer at the church genealogy library, we cannot find, or we can find
You
them.
can find them in the IPI, but not in the ancestral file.
But the work has been done.
Yes.
Okay. Well, as I get into my older years, if you ever need help with genealogy, I think that if you just tell each of us what we could do, taking that genealogy class really opened my eyes, we would be willing to help you to find some of those things. I know it's been really hard.
Great. How many of you would be willing to go and read records?
We have a state center, we have our own.
We all have state centers we can go to. We don't have to go to Salt Lake.
Because I just don't, I don't have the time, and if I do have the time, it's very sparse, and, you know, everybody's got an excuse and everybody wants it free, so I can dish it out, separate it and say, you look at this film looking for this information, you look at that film looking for this information. I can do that.
I'd be willing, as for
I'd be willing to do
spoken.
that because
I think
it's a lot of work. I'm in the process of writing a book right now, and I'm sorry, I just don't think. Well, round of applause, no. Anyway, okay. Esther, did you want to go on? Yeah, no, do this?
Listen, you guys.
Okay, what was it, April? April 19th. Last April 19th, it was the 15th, it was tax day. It was tax day. It was the day that we had to turn in our taxes. A year ago, April 15th, a Russian immigrant, he had been living in one of the adult housings, and he was not a member of the church. And he knew a lot of the older missionaries that lived in the same duplex, but he had had mental problems, and he had been on medication. But once he gets feeling better on medication, you think you don't need it, so you get off of it. And so he had been off of it for quite a while. And I guess he was paranoid. So it was very interesting. And I can only tell you what I know, what I saw, and what I learned from it, and from other people. But the guy, this is the street door, okay? This is the door. The guy came in with a gun. He came in through the front door, and then there's a little way, empty space there, and then over here, and he shot this lady right away. He shot her and he hit her from here, through the mouth and out, okay? And then there's an information counter here, okay? And then this is the big room, and this is where the restrooms are, and this is where the orientation room is, where there's some offices over there. So he came in, and he walked in here, and this is where he shot a couple of more people. And then all these people went over there to the book stacks. Then, well, no, he didn't come. He went this way, and he went this way, and then he came back out to the main foyer, and then he went this way. In the process, he had shot two more people over here. I think it was over here. Yeah, it was over here. And when he came in this way, this section here does not have an outlet. There's no outlet. Had he kept going this way, there were plenty of people to kill, okay? But somehow or other, he came and he went this way. He came out, back out, and I guess he didn't know what he was doing, but he came through here. And then this is where he shot the security guard after he had come into the orientation room, and then he went over here, okay? I'll tell you the things, and then, okay, so the lady that was shot here was right here, and then there were the two ladies here, laying down, that was shot, mother and daughter, and then the security guard that was here, with the four people shot. This one got killed, and I believe one other lady got killed over here.
Dead?
Huh?
How many died?
Three.
Two
With the
victims.
gunman.
Two victims. The one lady was from California. She's a non-member, but she was here with her husband at a convention. The husband was at a meeting, and she says, "I'll go look at my people." You know, she's from somewhere in California. She died. She was like 53 or something.
Okay. Where were you? We were thinking of going up to Canada for vacation, and I was going up there, and all over here, when I got up the stairs right here, I was going to open the door, and somebody told me to look out the door because it's got a little window.
Who's somebody?
Huh?
Who's somebody?
And so, had I opened the door, there were SWAT people right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. Had I opened the door, because they were looking for the second gunman, I would have gotten shot, because it would have been an element of surprise, because they were at alert. They were running around all over the place. And the two ladies were laying down on the floor. And as he went up there was another missionary that distracted the gunman. I don't know how. But I know there are some people here that don't believe, but there were a lot of angels in that room pushing the people out that way. There were a lot of people that were going out that way, because the way the bullets were all over through here, there should have been more people killed. And the fact that he got brought back down here and cornered himself there was God sent too, because he couldn't get out of there. And this is where the crossfire was.
President Casey said that the unarmed guard died saving several people.
without him, he wouldn't have been having Martin
Plus, he used so many, sorry, bullets that he ran short.
He pocketed, you know,
But it was very interesting to stand here and be stopped from opening the door and to be able to witness everything. And as the SWAT members came, it was very amazing to me how even though they were looking for the second gunman, that they were not securing this area, that they were securing this area to the main lobby, they were securing this door to the main lobby, they were shooting at this guy, and at the same time I was standing right here, and nobody saw me.
What were you doing there? Were you supposed to be moving out or what?
I was coming out to get a mat. And then while I was there watching, they grabbed it, and this bothered me. I had nightmares about this. These two ladies, they were laying on the floor. They grabbed them by their legs and pulled them out. The medicals. That's how they do it. I asked because I had nightmares about it. They had them laying on the floor. They grabbed them by the ankles and just yanked them out for about 15 feet. 15 feet. They just yanked those guys out over this way. But it was very, very. It's something that you think that you're going to. You think that you can react quickly, but the shock of it sends you into it stuns you.
You're scared stiff.
No, it's not that you're scared. It's that you're in a stupor. Yeah, you're in a stupor. You can't believe it, and you wonder why you didn't open the door, and you wonder why people aren't looking at you because you're standing right there, and nobody can see you.
So did you stand on the floor or did you go back down?
I had to go evacuate because I'm the safety coordinator, and I had to go evacuate. But it was very interesting how they went from floor to floor evacuating the people. And it's very interesting that I spent most of an hour trying to get my husband on the phone at work when he didn't go into work till 1 o'clock, and it didn't register to me that Bernard was at home and not at work. And I was trying to get him at home, at work, and I finally couldn't think of it, and I finally called Esther. And then she says, well, no, or somebody.
I was at her house, and she called her house thinking she was gonna, check at home, and it was me, and she said, who did I dial?
It's really interesting what happens to your mind, even though you think you're coherent and everything else, and you think you are. But it's very interesting to know that you really have to think to get it through. But we had a lot of testimonies of how people were directed out, and what was so funny, this one guy that had been on the main floor came down to the second floor. He came down to our floor and went to the counter, and this is what I'm talking about. He came up and he put his papers down to one of our consultants, and he says, don't send me out to the main floor because they're shooting people up there. I just want to stay on this floor. And it didn't register to him that he had to evacuate or that he needed to go out. He just didn't want to go back to the main floor because there were people shooting there.
Yeah, there's people getting shot.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. And you say, well, that will never happen to me. But it's just. It's interesting to know. So it's really interesting that you need to prepare, carry a list of numbers for you of your family, because you forget. I knew from Bernard's home work number, but I couldn't remember it. I said there 977 38 38 37 59 or something, and I could not remember it. And it's interesting, Don.
There's emotions that you're feeling, your adrenaline pumping through your body, and you can't straight have a tunnel, they call it tunnel vision, and you can't expand your vision or what you're doing because the adrenaline is dumping in you so much that your body just, it tightens.
shuts down. It slows down. I stood at that door looking for the longest period of time with the SWAT people going from door to door to door and never coming to my door. And it's really interesting.
Abuelita, we got a letter from you in Chile, and you were saying that you saw everything. How do you see everything?
In Kelly,
Where were you?
they showed a lot on television.
Okay, when this happened, Mother was living with me. And you know how sometimes you turn on your TV and the volume's really loud because somebody didn't turn it down? Apparently her TV had been left on loud because my kids were in her room watching the Jazz game or whatever. So when she turned it on at that very instant, the news guy came on and he was panicked, you know. There's been a shooting at the genealogy library and they're back, and my mom called me at work. And I'm in different classrooms. And she called me once and I said, well, I know it's Mom, I'm calling a while. And she called me again. And I said, I better go get it. So I excused myself in the classroom and Mother dice, alguien, un loco ahí está matando a la gente donde trabaja Marina, vente inmediatamente. I walked in the class and I said, I'm leaving. And I went and picked up Mother and she had been watching on the news. That's all it's on the stations, you know, that's what happens. And we drove over there and we sat there for 10 hours. So we were totally updated, and being that she was there, you feel like you're there.
Oh, no, I know because, you know, I thought that she was there because she said that she had seen everything, so I was wondering, where was she?
Well, they showed it on TV.
I thought the Pioneer.
So where did they take you?
Mom.
What?
Where did they take you?
What?
Where did they take you?
Where did they take us? They took us to the Howard Johnson. Right there, we had to evacuate. And another thing, it's so funny. There was, as we went out the door, there was a platform, and there's stairs to go down it. But people were not thinking to go down the stairs; they were jumping off the platform. It really is interesting to see the behavior of people when they are in panic or when they're in a situation that needs. And then after the Howard Johnson, they took us to the Symphony Hall, and they brought in food for us.
How long did they keep you? Did they interview you?
Yeah, they interviewed us and everything, and they kept us for a good 3 hours. But it was really interesting. There's a lot of spiritual experiences that came out of that. There really are. But I just thought you'd like to know. Who's got the more of this, you guys?
And I left and I heard her on the radio.
Okay, I made a book for each household.
He would have been less than a month old, and he would have had been
Doesn't get one. State of Georgia.
David and Mary. Oh, they had to go. Fernando and Queta. Michelle Shawn and Wendi.
Okay, did you get any more?
She's over there. Robert.
We'll take David.
Vern. Susie, David, This is what everybody sent me, and I think it's really good because I got 100%, even though I had to bug a few people. I'll give you that.
Fernando, Kimberly.
They're fighting.
Oh, yeah.
David, did you get one?
Who was the first to respond?
Sandy and David Riddle were the first to respond, even before me, and I was right there. They were first. I thought it was so. Oh, it was big. Yeah. They were first. Okay. They did really, really good. I had to take some phone calls. I had to corner some relatives that came over and said, "You're not late." Anyway, so I got everybody's name here. I'll pull your name out, and then if you have anything to say, or if somebody wants to ask him a question about what's written, okay? We'll start.
I don't even know what's written.
Sandra, you want to pull a name for her? Rachel Hoffman.
What's that?
What?
Is that Adam's cousin?
Correct. Just say anything you want, or somebody can ask a question. I put it in mother first, and then youngest to oldest.
Too blue.
What did I do wrong? No, it's just a title.
Okay, everything's down there the last year, and we know that we're having a girl now. We didn't when we wrote this, so. Oh, you did? Oh. And Jared, and they're going to be 2 years apart. Jared's born November 17th, and this baby's due November 13th, so we shall see.
Does anybody have any questions for them?
Melissa is due.
What is it that you do medical? Or do you do, what do you do?
I just work.
Okay, you just work? Okay, I thought maybe you were like a medical.
No, I'm a police officer. Yeah.
He's going to give us a presentation tomorrow, the day the police.
Oh, no, I can't.
Whatever.
I broke my leg.
Okay, you
All
guys done?
right, we're boring.
Here, no, take one.
Our little boys.
Oh, what?
Oh, Betty, go ahead.
Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the people you take care of in the program?
Oh, and I'm sorry, and this is Molly, your foster daughter. And she's been a lot of fun to have around. She's been great. And
Where's Molly from?
she's from Salt Lake.
She's 12?
She's Hispanic, but doesn't speak any Spanish, so don't try to get up a conversation in Spanish. Molly, do you have anything to say? She's just happy to be here. And she's good with Jared, so that's great.
The next person is...
How is it living with a policeman? Rachel, how is it to live with a policeman?
Do you get out of speeding tickets or anything?
You have the police car at your house? How is it? Tell us about it.
Well, I like living in West Jordan because he can come home for lunch. And he can check on walking out the door to work on his radio, so that's kind of, doesn't have to, and he gets home right on time, usually.
Kimberly Gomez has a question.
I just think that if you get a chance, my husband needs some tips on how to get out.
We'll talk about that.
First of all, take your right foot off the accelerator. Use the cruise control.
I never thought that I would marry a cop, but it's fine. Don always gives me assurances like construction workers are a lot more likely to die on their job and things like that. It's just that they're not as publicized. And it's great being married to Don because of who he is, not what he does.
How long have you been working for the?
It'll be 5 years this month on the 7th. So it's been fun.
It's nice to know something.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
Fernando.
talk about the ticket thing tomorrow.
I just said you went from youngest to the oldest, and I don't know how these guys did it.
No, we're just pulling out papers.
Oh, I see.
I'm looking, that's the order it's in.
Yeah, the youngest.
Where was you supposed to answer?
You can answer questions, you can give an explanation, whatever you want to do. Any questions for Fernando?
Fernando's married, you know.
Oh, okay.
When's your next mission?
Yeah, get up there. Rachel was up there. Why can't... Oh, get that, go ahead.
When's the next mission?
Okay, you answer all the questions, Fernando.
Any questions? Yes.
I want to know about your museum, the one in Mexico and the one in your house. Can you give us the latest?
Well, the museum is almost 6 years old, and we have about 10,000 visitors every year. We just finished attending a Mormon Historical Association conference in Denmark to learn a little bit about how to do things. So we're working on several things that we want to do. We're working with KBYU on doing a series of documentaries. We did one before we left, which we showed, I think, at the last reunion. But it has never aired because the quality is not up to par for broadcasting. So now the idea is to create 4 or 5 30-minute documentaries to divide the history in smaller segments. We're also working with BYU Travel Studies to do a historical tour next June in Mexico, around Mexico City. We'll see how that goes.
What do you mean by historical tour? Like a vacation type thing, or a study abroad type thing?
Well, I don't know how BYU Travel Study works, but they give credit for tours of that kind to the people that participate. But basically, it will be 3 days doing historical tours of the sites or areas, or visiting members, that kind of stuff, around Mexico City. Then they want to go to Oaxaca to some of the archaeology ruins, Monte Albán. But that's just in the planning stage right now.
Any more questions?
I want to hear Queta up there too.
Well, Rachel, go ahead.
Do you guys miss being mission president?
Rachel, no, catch this, please.
There, you heard from her.
Well, I think we're tired of being out of the country for extended periods. As you know, we served 3 years in Merida, and we just got back from Chile for 2 years. We don't mind traveling, but we do mind being extended time out.
No, Rachel, we don't miss it. It's something that you go and do, and
Yeah, and that's it. So we've done 2, and hopefully they won't call us.
Get any more ideas?
So,
Okay.
I want Queta up there.
See, so, Fernando,
I had a question.
is your museum growing then? You're
Sorry?
getting more things in your museum is growing?
yeah, we are, well, the growth comes from getting historical data. We want to be able to do the documentaries, we want to be able to do some books, write some books. We're doing things to try to, I think, it's limited as to the number of things that you can collect, but we do have a good collection. We've been able to get all of the Book of Mormon since 1875. We have a nice collection of that. We have church magazines that date back to 1927, almost a complete set, so that's over 70 years of magazines. Right now, I think our objective is to do some oral histories and start writing some things, some pamphlets and some papers. We've done some. We've done about a dozen papers, but we need to do more to be able to document the history. And by doing that, I think that's how the museum will continue to grow.
Do you commission archaeologists, or are most of the artifacts donations?
No, we're not in archaeology. We are in Mormon history. Archaeology is a different field.
Okay, get us here now.
Queta.
I'm ready, Marina.
Okay.
Hey, wait a minute. Why did Marina go first?
Okay, you go first.
Queta,
Yes, sir. That's
How have
sir.
you managed to stay with Fernando for all these years?
You know, it's a question that I've been asking myself for a long. I know that I married him for good, for
Better and for worse.
better and for worse, but never for lunch. And when I'm there, and when I'm not there, he waits for me until a long time to get him lunch, and he gets all upset. But I don't know, we just get along.
Do you enjoy all the traveling that you make?
No, sometimes I want to stay home. A lot of times I want to stay home. So if he goes, I go.
I just want to tell you.
But you never travel the same place.
We do? You do?
How do you
The 5-minute visit. Okay, Marina, I'm ready.
Marina,
Huh?
you have a question?
Well, Eric, David, or whoever he is, took my question.
No, really, the truth is that I enjoy what Fernando does, and I like to do it as well. I guess that we are a pair, match pair, because I like to travel as much as he does. And we just go. And if I don't like it, done. Okay.
Betty?
Oh, we're next?
Oh, Sarah.
That should He's gonna stay back here. Do you want me to come up?
It just says Betty.
Did you get, what?
It just says Betty.
It just says Betty.
Why does it only say Betty? I want Grace.
She's
up there.
special.
Yeah. Oh.
She counts for 2. You look like you're 2.
Oh, that's a low blow.
What am I supposed to ask for questions or give explanation?
Does anybody have any questions?
Betty,
Oh, yeah, darn, yes, David.
I'm still waiting for our exchange gift that we did last reunion. And when I was at your house, I scoped out the thing that we did trade, and I already have taken it back. So, and you said that, you had to watch when I was up at your house, that big school disappeared.
Oh,
And it has.
Oh.
But I could always trade it back 4 years later now.
4 years? Well, I'm not keeping track, but if I remember correctly, I think I owe you money also.
The 35 cents for the phone call.
35 cents only? Oh,
Yeah.
Louis, do you have change in your pocket there?
Maybe Sunday.
Sorry, you owed a lot. If there's no questions, I just want to say one really quick thing. I went on this tour with Leah in Europe, and we were in this one little rinky-dinky town, and we are so blessed and abundant here in the gospel. It really opens your eyes when you go to the mission field, like big time. And there's one little rinky-dinky city called Nancy, France. We went over there to do a show, a ballroom show, and when you do ballroom shows, everybody says, oh, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, really big. But one of the things that the bishop told us is that when they were building their ward there, their church house, the people would come at night and they would tear the walls down because they didn't want the church built there, and they didn't want the members there, and they didn't understand what Mormons were about. And I was really surprised that even now, in the year 2000 or recently, I guess it wasn't right now, but recently, the people would come, the French people would come and would tear the walls down at night to what they could build during the day, and they'd come and find them tore down, and they'd build them up, and they'd tear them back down. And it took them a while to get the church built, and when we were there, of course, the church was built, but we went to a lot of wards, and it seems like they're just bare walls. The benches are all wood, not this little plush things that we sit on. There's no organs, they're lucky they have pianos and things like that, and hardly any parking lot. It's just really, really different, and we're so blessed here, and to have so much, like in this church house, there's the organ and the floor seats and everything you could ever want in the church. The couches where you come in and sit down with just office chairs that belong in DI, that sort of thing, and it's just really different. We're so blessed to have the gospel in such abundance, and we'd have to travel an hour to church or something like that. There wasn't very many members, and going on the ballroom dance team tour, I never thought it was going to be spiritual, but the kids did firesides, and the people that we went in every country were so touched, and
the shows that we gave, that one of the bishop told us, you're a hope to us. Because now that people see that we're normal people, that we do what other people do, and we even do extra special things that other people do, and the testimonies were there, and it was just a really spiritual experience. I didn't explain it to you, so. And Leah brought her testimony again, you know, you go and you smell smoke, and you see gay couples, and you see all sorts of things that you don't see here. It's really quite different, but our testimony really grew of how different people live, their different lifestyles. People who choose to live in the military, you know, who choose to be in Europe instead of the States, who choose different ways of life. It's really an eye-opener that some people just, they're doing well. They're doing well over there, and they carry the church, and it was really a testimony over there.
Check your fireplace, ma'am.
Duane.
I think David wants to go next after
Hurry
all
up,
that.
Duane, today.
Discussion with David back.
Any questions for Duane? Questions?
Do you still play the guitar?
Every now and then, not too often, whenever I can. Not too much sometimes. No, David, you can't ask. Isn't that a limit on questions? I think he's impressive.
How do you like Christmas? How do you enjoy yourself?
Oh, I love him. I love him. I love him a lot. He's a good kid. He's a lot of fun. He's almost 3. He's almost 3, and he's August 5th. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I really do. It's neat. It's fun. I guess everyone that has kids knows that.
What's he enjoy doing?
He likes to play Batman and Robin. He likes to play baseball. He likes to go to the park. I used to teach him to kick the ball when he was little. I hope he'll be good at sports. But he likes to drive around in his truck, just whatever little kids do, you know. But he likes a little bit of everything. I treat him really good.
How much do you get him?
I get him every other weekend. Like, I guess it's, if you were to be married and then I guess get a divorce as a standard that I guess they have nationwide. And I guess it's every other weekend and then Wednesdays in the middle, but sometimes she gives them to me extra time. She's pretty good about it. She's pretty good. She works with me. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I'll get married to her or not, but I might. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if it's right. If not, I'm just worried about getting through school and getting to where I want to be, and then one of these days I'll get married. I'll be married for the rest of my life, hopefully. So I'm not in too big of a rush, but he takes a lot of my time, takes a lot of my weekends, keeps me out of trouble, you know. So he gets at least 21 weekends a year, and then every Wednesday in between. So it's fun. It's fun. Sometimes he says he doesn't want to go home, and that's the only part that I don't like. It's unfortunate that he has that situation, but
You gotta went to school?
yeah, I'm going to school. Right now I'm working this summer. I'm just working construction, building houses, and it's good money for right now, and then I'll go back to school. I got a little bit longer, but I'm thinking I might just change my major to computers. I don't know. I might.
Any other questions?
Like computers?
Computer science or what?
Yeah, computer science, a computer science degree. And then I might just get certified, because it's crazy the way the internet and the computers have changed the economy. Everything is so different.
What's your major now, business or accounting?
Business management. My emphasis is in accounting and finance.
Why don't you do business and information technology emphasis?
That's a good idea, Dave. That's a good idea. I'll have to look and see if they offer that. That's a great idea. I probably would do something like that. Although I like finance, there's nothing wrong with compound interest, is there? If you can borrow the money to lend it, all right. Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, let's see. Hey, thanks for that question, Dave. The little man, he's pretty neat. Elvia! Looks like we're in trouble, aren't we?
Thanks.
Everything's in here. That's okay, you can come up here for questions.
Everybody has come.
Okay, 7 questions, everybody's questions. Questions for Elvia, please? Not all, please.
No,
Elvia?
His Venmo account there.
So what do you do?
I just work.
Oh.
So what do you do? I teach English as a second language.
To ESL children. To the, or whoever doesn't speak English.
Adults?
Students.
No, children.
No, high school and elementary. I only teach part-time, so I don't have a certificate.
Then you work at another place, right?
Yeah, I work somewhere else. I have to jump.
David has a question.
Yeah?
Who got baptized? Was it the Spanish people that I knew? Oh, really?
Tell us about it. Huh?
Tell us about it.
Oh, it's just that, when well, since I translate for wherever I can, wherever I'm at, when I was in the hospital one day, they asked me to come and translate for this young man. And I'm friendly and I love people. So I translated for him because he had gotten a broken arm. He couldn't speak English. So I had to translate for the doctors and stuff. And before he left the hospital, I had the missionaries over to his room and teaching his lessons, and he was reading the Book of Mormon. And I brought him over the tapes for Christmas, you know. And then his boss came for him, and he took off. And they're shepherd boys. All they do is take care of sheep up in the hills, way, way up there. And they live in a small trailer. And the boss brings them everything they need, you know, food and stuff. And I kept writing him letters and telling him about the Book of Mormon and bringing stuff over. And David went with me one time. And then my friend Andrea went with me another time. We're talking 100 miles in a truck on hills to go see him. And so him and his brother listened to our lessons. And then his brother went home because he's married. And the younger brother stayed. And he wanted, you know, for me to help him because he wasn't legal, and that's hard, you know, for them to, they can't, porque no tienen papers, they can't take advantage of them, you know. And I wanted to help however I could, but I couldn't do very much because, you know, I'm one person and not economically well, and I thought about them and I prayed for them. And, but le decía yo, you know, pobre gente. You know, they're just out there without much hope or anything. And he liked the gospel. He wanted to be a missionary before he left the hospital. It was so funny. Estoy listo para decirlo, you know. And he read the book to me and everything, really neat. But, so just 2 weeks ago, he called, and the Lord must have heard. He got married to this real nice girl who has papers. So there's hope for him. And he got married in December, and he's expecting a baby in February. And he called me, and I was just so happy as well a month ago. Because there's just hope, you know. And he's going to become a member, and he's got children coming to their marriage, and it's going to grow, grow, grow. And his brothers in Mexico also learning the same thing because they took the Book of Mormon with them. So I just love missionary work, and I love people, and I do what I can. But yeah, and I teach at school.
Yeah, what about your other job?
At Convergence, I left the hospital because December 31st of last year, I had a real rundown. I mean, I worked too hard. And December 31st of last year, I was taken to emergency hospital because, you know, as old as I am, I've never in my life had high blood pressure. Never. Even though I've been heavy and I'm old. Well, that night, I had high blood pressure for my first time in my life, and never again since then. And so they told me, because I said, so I can't finish my job, it was midnight. They says, no, and then I'm coming tomorrow, I got day shift. Says, no, you're not. The emergency doctor says, no, you're not. And so he called my boss, and
And that was the last day I ever worked there because it was just too much. And with all the stuff that I was doing for Shawn and holding on to what I have to do, too much. And now I have a job at Converges, and I do sales over the phone. And when I first started, I thought, oh my gosh, these guys are gonna fire me. I stumbled, you know. I said, oh my gosh, they're gonna fire me. I can't do the computer, I can't do the phone. I burped all over. It turned over. So anyway, my boss, my old boss, went away, and he called my new boss, and he says, how's Elvia doing? He says, she's top seller. He says, no, Elvia? He says, yeah. I'm a top seller now up there. I get a lot of bonuses. I've gotten about $200 in bonuses. I've been paying off my Sears account. So I have to put my vacuum on that account. And so I love it. I sit and I talk to people over the phone, and it's not as hard work as the hospital. And I like it. I mean, sometimes I don't like it because I think to myself, what am I doing here, you know? Everybody else is young around me. They're like my kids, 18, 20. And so this, and I tell the Lord, okay, Lord, I'm not gonna brag. I'm happy with my lot, and I'm gonna not brag. But when I go to Conversions Tire for my other job, I start, oh, Lord, why are you here? But, you know, that's what it is. So anyway, I like my second job and my first job. I work about 45 hours a week. And between jobs, I help my girls a lot. Miss Kimberly needs a lot of help. I mean, she's had a hard life, and so I'm there for her a lot. And so between jobs, I run to her and help her. And Michelle's very self-sufficient. She's always been really a good girl. That way, she has a choice husband, though. Kimberly has a husband that's mentally ill, and it's hard. It's hard for her and her children. But she's a trooper. She's a real trooper. Her bishop just loves her to death. She's a very kind person. They say she should have a halo on her head.
Right,
Her decided president and all that.
I second the motion.
But I just want to say, I maybe have a hard life. I've been single 20 years, but I am rich because the children I have counts. And the gospel, glorious. So I am very happy, and I hope to keep struggling. And maybe one day. But then I say, okay, Lord, don't give me no blessings. Don't send me a man that can take care of me. Don't help me with my house. Because then I will have everything. Forget it. I want to keep suffering. I mean, that's what they say we're here to do. Some of us have it harder somehow. Of course, we don't run in everybody's shoes. Everybody knows what they go through. So anyway.
I have a question.
What?
Today we were talking about the celestial kingdom, and it was mentioned that we would be surprised the people that we're going to find in the celestial kingdom, because the ones that we think are going to make it are not going to be there, and the people that we don't think are going to be there are going to be there. Elvia, I think you're going to be there.
We might mention somewhere around here or somewhere. And the other day I saw Don a month ago. It was such a touch.
Just read the name.
Anyway, whatever. No, not that I care for him anymore or anything. It's just what he broke, the family unit. Oh, Sandy, you're next. Sandy Riddle.
Are you married, Sandy?
I'm married. I've got what's his name.
You have a companion?
Your sidekick.
Hey, Sandy?
Yeah.
Excuse me for one moment. I just wanted to, I want to say thank you to Queta for asking me that question. I didn't really clarify, like, it's not just one day. I get him pretty much from Friday to Sunday. So I get him all weekend long and then that middle day. But thanks for asking that question. That's all.
Oh, by the way,
You know why I asked the question?
I know.
You know why? Because every time that I see you with a baby, he seems like he's so attached to you. And you really take it seems like if you take very good care of himself.
Rip or never?
It's your grandkid.
Okay, go ahead. Questions for Sandy?
Any more
more questions?
That's all we have to say about that.
That's true. River never wants to go home away from Duane.
Okay, Sandy. Well, where have you been?
Colorado.
How come?
Oh, ask him, but she might be here for a while.
Don't give him the mic. Don't give him the mic.
How come, David? I want to hear from David.
30 working months.
That's where our job took us.
Who are you working for?
What's that?
Who are you working for?
I work for American Microsystems. They're one of the oldest semiconductor manufacturers. They have 2 manufacturing facilities in Pocatello, Idaho, of all places. If you drive up I-15 past Pocatello, if you look to the east, or the right-hand side as you're going north, you'll see the big building. There's a couple big buildings with AMI.
I'll take the microphone.
How come you don't want to have David speak?
Because we'll be here until about midnight. Michelle,
what is a creative?
I'm like Elvia. I don't have anything to say.
it is scrapbooking, and I guess it might not be like real, like creative memories itself might not be like the biggest thing here in Utah because there's so many different types of things. Yeah, it's an actual, like the company does their own books and their own paper and their own stickers.
You work, Sandy?
I do creative memories at home. I don't work anymore. Out of the home. Enough said.
She's trying to cover her habit. That's what she's trying to do.
Is she addicted?
What's that?
Is she addicted?
She's very addicted. And it's costing me a lot of money. She's not profitable yet.
Is it cold over there? Do you freeze to death and have enough?
Colorado is the best weather you could ever have. It's better than, people say it's really similar to Utah, but it can be, it'll snow and by that afternoon the snow will be gone. At least where we live. It'll rain. It's pretty windy at times, but overall it's really, really nice. Really
What
good weather.
city?
Colorado?
Colorado City.
Oh, I'm sorry, Longmont. It's north of Boulder.
How big is it?
Northeast of Boulder. How big is it?
Longmont's about 100,000 people.
100,000?
It's growing.
Yeah, it's growing like crazy.
How far from Denver is that?
It's about half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on which side of the city you go to. Denver's pretty big, so.
I was just going to say, don't talk to my wife about Circus.
It's wonderful. I've got samples.
We don't have the money.
Scrapbooking is a form of genealogy, and the prophet and the president of our church says it's something you should do. So
That's
what thank your wife spent
$20 a page.
That was my point exactly.
Your mom
Everybody's talking out of work. David said that Sandy has not been very profitable yet. But when they were getting married, he promised me 50 vacas.
Oh, yeah?
And I haven't gotten that even.
You went for 50 cows?
50 cows.
No. 50.
He hasn't paid up.
No, 50.
I did pay up. Fernando and I had a little negotiation, and he decided he didn't want to clean up after the cows. So, we've taken care of
Not
it.
even nothing, so no
I know your health is fragile. Can you
Tell me about it.
Can you tell me how? I was really worried about you there for a while. You were in my prayers.
Which time? Because there's been several.
Well, I want to know what her health status is. Will you give her the phone?
Give me the phone. I'm fine.
No, tell us what's wrong with you so that we can pray you out of it.
Like I said, which time? I come up with these new original things to have, every other month or so. But overall, I'm healthy. I just,
always have to be really good.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll just have something that's different. They can't figure out what it is or why or, so.
You want to name the surgery, Cindy?
You want me to name my surgeries? Let's see, when shall I start from? It would take too long, huh? David thought he got a deal when he married me because I had already a bunch of stuff. But
yeah, she had already had her appendix out, tonsils out, all those major things. I'm thinking, oh, well, now I have to go to the doctor. So far, we've been married almost 9 years now, and we have satisfied our deductible every year. And almost, there have been several years that we've satisfied the maximum payout of our insurance plan. So,
but she's worth it though, right?
So are you feeling okay now?
I'm feeling fine. The overall health is feeling fine.
which time are you talking about? The blood clot in her arm?
It was one of the times when you couldn't come or something.
Yeah, that was the blood clot in your
Yeah,
arm,
that-
and they were gonna go to Chile.
That was like a couple of times ago. She's been.
The latest is this thing on my finger. Just went to the dermatologist the other day and he decided to do a biopsy on it to rule out cancer. So, but I don't think it is. I think it's like a fungus of some sort. So it's something weird every time, and the doctors are, whatever. So.
Like a tumor.
Yeah. Or tumor brain.
And like 2 months ago, she called me at work and said she was gonna die, and she had to go to the emergency room immediately.
How come you like playing with the mic?
I just like to talk.
I told you to be here till midnight.
Another question.
So, Sammy, tell us how come you're so happy?
How come I'm so happy?
Because she's married
Because she's married to me. That's a dumb question.
David, how do you like your job?
I really like my job.
Do you really? Do you do well with it?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
David, Paulette, you're next.
No, I'm sorry to inform you that Sandy was happy before she met you.
I have an answer for that. Cindy has been happy ever since the day she was born.
Yes,
She's
yes.
always a very happy girl.
David, Paulette, come on up.
She's got the high pro glow.
David, go ahead.
Any questions for David? Okay, David, come on up.
David, get up here, we're losing time. Finish at 7, at 7:04.
Right, sir. So what, 7 o'clock, so what are you bothering me for? You gotta go?
It's your turn, hurry up. Questions for David?
You gotta go.
We're gonna leave.
Any questions for David? Raise your hand. Marina?
Why did you dye your hair blonde?
It was a bet at work. They didn't think that I would do it or shave my head, and I shaved my head and dyed my hair blonde.
Well, you look good.
Yes, thank you.
Was that a dare?
Yes.
Well, what were you before? Did you have light curly hair, long?
No, I shaved it like this.
How much did they pay you to do that?
Nothing.
If they shaved your head, how?
I shaved my own hair. No, I dyed my own hair blonde, and I shaved my own head. I cut my own hair. Saves money. You take the razor and it just goes zzz, and it cuts it all down.
So you shaved it first and then dyed it, right? You didn't,
Huh?
you didn't shave it. You shaved it and then dyed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions, Betty?
What are you doing at your job now? Do you do the same thing or have you changed?
I'm kind of out in the field and inside, straightening out their filing system.
So you do look
I
at
changed companies, and the new one is a young company, but they're growing real fast.
No.
And they're very unorganized. And I can open up folders and look at them and tell what they are right away. And so I'm organizing their filing and
Leah has a question. Oh, Susie,
working on their computers, adding stuff to their computers, updating the information.
Leah? How's Nez?
Nez is still alive, and he has to pay him $5 to go swimming in the pool if you want to go swimming. That's his pool, not mine.
Oh, kidding.
The kids and him get into quite a scuffle when they go swimming. Because he won't let them in the pool. He said they each had to bring in a tennis ball before they go in the pool.
Any other questions?
I just have a comment. Your girls are beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
It takes a lot of effort.
Duane has a
but I can
question.
take it. Yes.
Are you chasing any women? Are you dating? Are you trying?
I'm staying away from the freaks. Oh, I wasn't done. Are you ready? I got the microphone now. I'll be like David.
Very smart.
No, I just like to take the opportunity to say a few words.
You did.
I don't know if anybody wants to listen.
There are a few too many.
Go ahead.
Well, I'd really like to say thank you to a couple of people for all the support and help that I've had in the last couple of years. I'd like to start with Fernando. And if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have been possible to hold on to my house, which my children still consider home. They really enjoy that house. And I want to thank you for everything you've done for me. And Esther, Marina, Elvia, Mother, you owe me money and a gift, so I'm talking to you. Betty.
I didn't realize I was that lucky.
I'd like to thank you for all the support. It's been hard, but I always like to think of I've really changed as an individual, as a person. I'm still hot-headed. If you cross my path, we will bump. But I've calmed down considerably a lot. I've mellowed a lot. It's been quite a challenge raising the girls. And really learned a lot of patience. And takes a lot. And it's just, children are a wonderful thing. I really enjoy watching Duane with this kid. But children are a wonderful thing. Really fills up my life. I call them my little energizer batteries, because every time I pick them up on Wednesday, I get rejuvenated, and it lasts till Sunday, and then that lasts till I pick them up again on Wednesday. And it's really been great for me.
So David, do you divide that time?
No, I have them 4 days, and I won't go into other details, but I'm shooting for more.
You're a better parent.
Kimberly,
How do you do that, how do you do that? I know it's hard. Dennis is like there, but he's not, so the single parent thing is hard.
It's how like I said, I've mellowed a lot. I still have my, go out every now and again, but I've mellowed a lot. And instead of trying to do everything at one time, I try to even it out. To be honest with you, I've been overwhelmed the last maybe year. It's hard keeping that 4-bedroom house clean, plus a yard, plus clothing for the kids, plus doing everything. But I've kind of organized myself and done a very good job of it.
Well, send me
I
out
still
some
have time
comments.
for the children. And cooking and doing everything, laundry, everything. But it's what's the word? Humility? Humility? Is that the right way?
What do you do for fun with your girls?
Oh, we do everything. I bought them bikes. We go bike riding. I had a pretty bad mountain bike accident a couple of years ago. Blew my knee out. It was just a really simple accident. We go bike riding a lot. We go to the baseball game every Thursday.
Do they enjoy it?
Yeah, they enjoy the baseball games. They built a new stadium they have 2 AAA teams in town. And they have one stadium that's really nice. It's got grass in the outfield. And then kids play out there and have a really good time. And that just hangs out. We go out and have fun. And I just try to spend as much time as I can with them. I only work now Monday through Friday. And so Saturdays, we're basically, they're swimming while I'm working on the yard, cleaning the house. They're pretty good helpers. Come in here. Bailyn, please. Corinne just got her earrings pierced yesterday. Come on. And Bailyn and Corinne are really great helpers. They really want to help me do everything. They really try to do a lot of stuff. And they're good girls. A little hard of hearing sometimes, but they're good girls. Daddy loves you very much, doesn't he?
Hey, David.
Yeah.
I want you to know that as part of my family, and probably the rest of us in this room here, always in our prayers, we put your name on the temple all the time, and we think of you all the time and pray for you that that God will bless you with happiness and the things that are good for you and right, and that we love you, David. That's all there is to it.
My cell phone loves you.
Yes, I wish you'd break that thing. But like I say, I've mellowed out a lot, and I think that's what's really helped me.
Well, we wish you success and happiness. But that's fine.
More questions? No, I want to hold up Fernando. I'd like to apologize for trying to hit you last night with a car.
You gotta watch him, Don.
I really do. Sorry. Read it?
Take one and read it.
It's blank, Esther.
No, it's not. Here, turn it over.
Oh. Let's see, Pimple Martin.
That means get a stick.
I thought that was easy.
Hit him, Shawn. Pretty quick.
Any questions for Shawn?
Why do you let your wife beat you up?
Shawn's a pansy.
Yeah. When do I get to come to your apartment for my first police-related call with you?
Call or raid?
They live in West Jordan.
The domestic
For
call.
domestic dispute between them. I want to come over and slap.
Sean
them
doesn't
around.
want to admit that Wendy beats him up, so he's not calling the cops.
Oh, okay.
The only evidence of it is my lip right now.
Right on.
Any other questions?
How long have you known Wendy? When did you guys meet?
4 years ago, yesterday.
Yesterday.
4.5 years ago, yesterday. Uncle Lou's.
When was the last time you beat anybody in chess?
That would be David.
How about
That would be
basketball?
David in chess.
Uncle David has some questions.
Wendy, were you being kicked out of the house or something?
Kim,
How much did you pay Wendy to marry you?
I'm still paying.
She's quite a catch.
What'd you say, Mike?
I just want to know, but I want separate answers, okay? I want to know what it's like being married for both you guys, because obviously I wouldn't know, but how do you guys enjoy
I
it?
think it's awesome because at the end of the day, I get to go home with him instead of going to our house.
Do you work together in the same place?
No, she works at Anderson Lumber, Manager Center.
No, she's got a better job than you.
And she's the manager of the garden department at Anderson Lumber by our house. And I work at Burgess, and I'm the assistant manager at Little Caesars part-time. So,
Which one?
right by Albertsons.
Ever need pizza?
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, brother.
Sean, Wendy Gomez has a question.
Yeah?
You know, I might load it down, but I don't know if I'm 64 is.
Nintendo. And the latest Nintendo out.
N64. That scares me.
My kids don't play stuff.
That's just the name they're calling it.
Any more questions? Oh, Kimberly.
How far off are you going to make me an aunt?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You have babies when you're ready to have babies and not before.
That's right.
Yeah.
Read it.
It'd be, what should we call it?
Pansy?
Pansy Bevan or Love Handle Bevan?
That was good.
I'm sure you're at the beginning of the line. Good work.
Come on, David.
Hurry up, David.
Come on, Nancy. You and your lovely bride stand up.
Esther,
Me, that's there.
Money, can I borrow your cell phone so you can call me on her cell phone?
Go ahead, David, Amanda.
Okay.
Questions?
Yeah. Can you tell everybody about your recording with Amanda?
Like everything. We
The
met
whole
last
thing.
last May, so a little over a year ago, at a family home moving activity. I was actually the family home moving dad. My apostate daughter hadn't been to family movings for like 3 weeks, but she finally came. And so we met there and I gave her a ride home. I was actually had to leave early because I had another date, but Give it right home, man.
Rest is history.
Yeah, this is history.
Same question to you. Were you being kicked out of the house?
Why did you marry David? Hey, man, why did you marry David?
Yeah, has the drug worn off yet?
Ask me that. Is there like something I don't know?
Oh, yes, girl. Do you have hours?
Here it goes.
I've got the tapes.
I married the sweetest man I've ever met. And he's always good.
You haven't met very many.
And he always says sorry when he feels bad about us getting in a little squabble or something. And he brought me flowers for our 2-month anniversary and took me on a cruise. And he was really good to me. It's really good.
Where are you guys? So David, are you married to Sharon Mama?
Yeah, it was actually quick. I had the chills and fever and stuff for a week, and then I was tired for 2 weeks and it was right over after that.
David has a question. Have you been back to the doctor?
No, but I slept up 3 a.m. with Laura Schirmacher and Laura and Jerry all day, so it's fine.
Go ahead, Mia.
Where are you guys currently living?
We live right next to the Mount Notice Temple. There's a 2-bedroom basement right there.
Right across the street.
Yep. Right across the street.
So there's notes.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I just want to know how much weight is gained.
Zero.
Oh, he
Zero.
can't do anything.
What?
Say,
Okay, read it.
Susie Griffin.
Susie, you're up.
Yay.
So you just tell it how it is. You can always say anything you want. We can ask you questions like you're in the hot seat. Questions for Susie?
You're trying to make a fashion statement with those little things you all over your bus.
The girls were running around in the grass and they gave them to me.
Well, I think you should start a new fad.
Looks good.
These are kind of cute.
What are they?
But some are butterflies, you know, little clip things they put in their hair.
You know we have little girls.
Any
Butterfly
other
cookies.
questions?
I'll take them off.
Betty?
Okay, can you give us an update on your children?
Mary just turned 7 in May. She's taking piano and violin lessons and finished her first year of Spanish immersion program at Middle Elementary in Lehigh. James will start kindergarten in the fall, and he's also taking violin. And Benjamin he turned 3 in February, and he wants to take the violin.
He's a terrible one.
He's
Benjamin
terrible, please. And he'll go to preschool in the fall. And then I have a 3-month-old daughter, Sarah, who we blessed today.
So 2 girls and 2 boys.
2 boys, yeah.
How'd you
Okay,
like that?
David?
I heard you make that outfit. It looked beautiful.
Yes, I did make her.
Duane has a question.
I just wanted to ask you, basically how
Baby,
you guys are doing, how Mark is doing at work. What is he doing exactly? I
My
got a little
husband,
letter.
David, he's a patent attorney at a law firm in Salt Lake. So he does patents, copyrights, trademarks.
And where do you guys live in American Fork?
We live kind of over
They live on the other
west
side of
side.
the railroad tracks.
On the west side.
I went to her house.
On the other side of the cemetery.
On the other side of the tracks?
Yeah, kind of, you know where the cemetery is? And Smith's and Kmart and all of that. We're kind of in those neighborhoods.
Okay.
I have a
And what do you
question.
do? I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
By the way, I have a friend that, no, that's fine, Esther. I have a friend that owns a music store, and I can get violins at cost. You can pretty much pick them out. You may have some already, but that's what I do part-time. I sell music instruments.
Okay.
But I can get you some at cost, and they're usually about 50% of what they'd be in the stores. And you can always get the same ones.
Yeah.
Just let me know, or whatever, but.
Vela has one, they're beautiful.
Susie, can you tell us about your husband and the tornado?
We were up here at my mom and dad's because I was having my floors refinished, and all of a sudden he called me from Salt Lake, and he says, turn on the TV. And I said, why? And he says, because there's something outside the window, and I don't know what it is. And I turned it on, and I said, oh, I said, they said it's a tornado. And he says, that's what I thought. And he said he was just in one of the offices, and he works in Eagle Gate Towers, where, do you know where that is? ZCMI Center. And it's just connected to the ZCMI Center. And the offices overlook, depending on where you are, they'll look over Temple Square, wherever. He was in an office that happened to be looking west. And he said that they saw it touch down, and they saw the transformers blow, and they saw it go over by Temple Square, over by the Howard Johnson, and then over where the convention center was, and then they said they saw it. He said, that's what we thought.
Yeah, I saw the TV too.
Yeah.
The Transformers actually saw it and everything.
Yeah,
And
that was
touching
the
down.
famous shot.
Yeah.
But he saw it live.
So there.
I was live too on TV. They ran it over and over again.
Any other questions? Marina?
You sound so nice. You are very talented.
She always has.
Huh?
I
don't think you're so anything, so I think you're beautiful in your soul.
No, Esther, but the hands that I make, I do.
Is that right?
When she hems the dress, she does it.
Wait a minute, the question, do you still do it?
Oh, yes.
For yourself or for others?
I do it for myself. I haven't done it for others for several years. I did a wedding. I did Steve's wedding, then I did another wedding the next year, but I haven't done any.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Grandma has a question.
Oh, I did make, but you know, it takes a toll on the family.
I know.
I have to drop everything and, you know, eat McDonald's and Subway and Papa Murphy's and
Okay,
so.
Grandma, ask your
I
question.
don't do it
The
very much.
American way.
I went to American Falls this morning to raise a baby, and I told my son, baby, you remind me, because you are not sewing. They are very delicate, very beautiful, like the dress that I made this morning. Was very beautiful.
David, did you have a question?
I did.
Go ahead.
The Riddles in Colorado would like to know when you guys are going to get a computer so that we can decrease our phone bill.
Well,
Stop calling them.
No, we do have a laptop and email. No, there's just nothing like it. Sorry. Well, we will eventually.
And it's nothing like using a purse with a packet for your cellular.
That's right. I'm working on the cell phone.
And you don't have one.
Oh, Esther. No questions. To set the mood, I'm going to have my son Michael play a song.
Oh, dear.
Howdy, kid. Oh, I gotta go.
Is that the one you played at that concert?
Yo no sé coser en la máquina, pero sé tejer muy bonito. No se va a contestar.
like it says in my little report thing, I've been through the war. I wanted 8 kids when I got married, and I got my 8 kids, and I love them so much. And I feel like the gospel, you know it's true. But how do you know it's true? How do you know you love your kids? You just know. You know you love your kids. You know the gospel's true. And each one of them, you know, they're far from perfect, but it's my life. I just love my kids to pieces. I'll do anything for them, and they know it. So does my husband know it. And this song that Michael has played, I think, is just a drop in the bucket compared to all the other things that all my other kids have done. Because they have really tried hard. It hasn't been easy for some of them, and that's just with their hearing impairment. And Michael almost died a couple of years ago. It was horrible. It was just horrible. The whole family came to the hospital. We tried to call Richard all night because they just told me that he was just bleeding internally. He ruptured his spleen in 3 places. And John had him on the couch, and he was just in agony. And David and Shawn, Shawn used to live at my house, and he went over there, and Melinda was crying. It was really a scary thing. He almost died. He could have died within 2-3 hours. Anyway, and another thing I want to say that's mentioned in my little thing is that music to me is like the Holy Ghost. If you listen to good music, you have the Holy Ghost with you. And I sing the words in my mind, and I have the words to "The Lord is my light" almost memorized. I have the words to "Drifting Trails" by Lorenzo's note that he plays. And my testimony has grown enormously. And it's not because everything's wonderful, because it isn't. It's because I know what I have to keep doing. Anybody have any questions? David?
Just on that beauty salon, the one at Brookdale.
Yeah, you open the door when you go around the corner and you hand your hand out, and then you spray it, and it works every time.
Making a profit?
Whatever. Michelle?
I just want to thank you for all your time and energy putting this reunion together and doing it. It's not an easy job.
Well, for tomorrow, I was thinking of something that we could do that was fun, and I kept thinking and thinking and thinking. I was really thinking. Imagine that. Usually I just, robot, where do I go next? And I was getting up ready to go to work in the morning, and I thought, square dancing. We can have little kids, we can have big kids, we have old people, we can have people that can't do anything. So I really hope you all guys come tomorrow, because I think it'll be really, really fun. And the guy tomorrow afternoon will blow you away. He is fantastic. I hope you guys all read that right up. Any other questions? Betty?
What was your latest find at DI?
My latest find at DI's, I love going DI shopping because I always find something good.
Can we go tomorrow?
Yes, Leah?
I would love to kiss and hug you.
Don't even. Last night we went and helped Richard and Karen move to their new house, and they had some friends from Chile that were helping them move, and the friends from Chile always kiss you on the left and kiss you on the right and all that jazz. And Karen says, don't even get near her, because she doesn't even kiss her kids, which is true. So don't even try. Any other questions? Or should I pick somebody? I'll pick somebody.
Where is your son living in?
Hey, where are you?
Portland?
Did they not?
No, they just got there last Saturday. He's just doing an internship. He's a reader about Stephen and Amanda. So he'll be back there.
I called you earlier. I called you earlier.
Yeah. What?
Okay.
They're working for a friend of
I
ours
tried to
with
call
an
you
internship, yeah.
what time we're coming in.
Yeah.
But we're.
Let's see, we gotta get Michelle. Oh, by the way, a few people got Michael's first CD. The second CD will be out, and it will blow you away.
What is the name of the first CD?
Michael Bevan, January 2000. Second CD will be Michael's Best, and it's gonna be excellent. Yes, Keta.
Where can we get it? We have a tape.
Yeah, I had the tape because I ran out of CDs, but I do have CDs.
Where do you get them? Where do you get them?
I take him, he was going to the teacher and he has the studio in his house. That's what he does all the time.
Charges are $200 for the stupid tape.
200?
Yeah.
Rich coming up on Spanish work.
Oh, you serious?
Yes. So he said Richard should be here in the next 20-25 minutes.
Spanish work. Come on
Let's just write down the street.
coming here?
Yes, and I told him we were here at the church. Huh? It's Spanish work.
Esther, is Michael going to teach piano? Michael going to teach piano? No, Michelle.
Michelle?
Yes. Go questions for Michelle.
I'm still waiting for a gift too from the gift exchange 4 years ago. And the only reason that I did not recover my gift was because somebody took their aquarium to their office. But this one over here fell asleep when she let me into her house. So I got my stuff back there.
Did you go stealing in my house?
Yes.
Okay, your last shot. Wendy, be quiet, Betty.
Did you record the tape?
What?
The tape.
Wendy, what are you doing for a girl?
I'm not having any more kids. End of story. Don't ask my husband because that's not his story, but that's my story. And I'm not having.
Okay, Betty.
There's Don. There's Don. Would you please arrest him? He came to my house to steal.
I didn't come to your house to steal. I saw it. I told her.
It's not my city.
We're gonna fish.
You look really great. What have you been doing to yourself? I didn't recognize you. I had to look twice. Is that Michelle? What have you been doing to yourself?
Just exercise. I get really frustrated. My husband goes to small works all the time, so he's never home. So to get energy out of my system rather than getting frustrated, I exercise. So exercise.
So what do you do or where do you go?
I used to go to a gym called Paris for Women, but I can't do that anymore because he's never home to watch the kids. So I do weight training and Tai Chi.
Tai-ho. Kenta has a question. Kenta, go ahead.
It's alright if you haven't studied in the yard. Just tell him he takes out.
I have a question. Do you want something to eat?
How'd the Knicks do this year?
The Knicks are the #1 team in the NBA, and they rock, and it was an unfortunate mishap, but I won't speak no more of it.
Oh, are you converted there?
Okay.
About one of those regular shelves, right? And you got a bunch of Knicks stuff on the shelf, and I put the hat up on top of my phone. I don't see any Knicks championship.
You do, they're just from the 70s. You got a problem with that?
How the Knicks? They didn't win what? When was it, 70s?
Yeah.
Questions for Kimberly and Fernando?
What's his name? Oh, yeah.
Marina, go ahead.
Yes, please.
I think you guys are great teaching your kids Spanish.
Thank you.
Does Kimberly know Spanish?
Does Kimberly know Spanish?
See?
Okay, Kenta has a question.
We're shipping her down to Mexico.
They're gonna immerse her right in the middle of Mexico.
Yes, sir.
I have an answer for you, Marina. Kimberly has given almost 100% of her for the children to learn Spanish. She has done a lot of things. She's responded a lot of.
Is it real?
I'm still waiting for my hat. Nike, made in Oregon.
That's right.
I'm still waiting for my hat. I have got a memory like an elephant. You can say I'm part woman.
Any questions? Duane has a question.
How did you guys do that? How did you guys teach English? How did you teach your kids Spanish? How did you go about doing that?
Well, partially we paid for it. We sent the first two to a private school for a couple years, 3 years, and we're now trying to be more creative. We've sent the two older ones down with grandma and grandpa for 6 weeks down to Chile, and we're looking to send them down to Mexico again for a few months. So the school they're going to right now is a public school where they have a lot of Hispanic population, and so all their friends are Spanish speaking. We're just trying to find a lot of ways to do that.
Mother has a question. Mother?
I think the Queta started there because she was teaching Spanish, talking in Spanish to them, and then she teach song in Spanish, and they started, and also I think that these kids are blessed compared to Italian, because es asombroso ver cómo las niñas hablan también español.
Yes.
This is a new question, but if you're interested at all, Duane was asking about Spanish. Alpine School District, which is where we live, and I mentioned Mary's students through the first year Spanish immersion. Alpine School District has currently seven schools who have Spanish immersion.
What is that?
Spanish immersion
It's
means
teaching
that starting first grade, half the schools next 2000.
They do that in
We'll start in second grade. They teach Spanish to the children not as a language, but as the means to learning the language.
In Tucson,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, in
It
Tucson.
was on the 10 o'clock news a few weeks ago.
The
But
teachers speak only Spanish to them.
They learn everything in Spanish.
They learn
So they don't take Spanish classes,
they learn everything
they
in
take
Spanish.
their regular classes in Spanish.
So they're learning how to read and write in Spanish. Math, science, everything is
They
in
learn it.
Spanish.
And the teacher speaks to them in Spanish. Mary will come home with homework in Spanish. They're reading Spanish. So the ages between until the child reaches teens, those are prime years for learning a second language or to play an instrument. That's when their brains are like a sponge. After that, it gets harder. You can still do it, obviously, a lot of people do. So if you're interested, move to the Alpine School District and look up the 6 schools that have it. And your kids will, starting second grade, first grade, learn the language.
Wait.
Thank you for.
Wait, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. I just, I want to hopefully teach him Spanish sometime, and he lives up there in the Alpine School District area, so maybe I'll do that. What do you guys do for fun, and what have you been doing as far as work? I mean, I know you were, you're in a company, where is it that you work for?
I work for a company called Reyes Corporation, and currently I'm a manufacturing supervisor.
You finally graduated, didn't you?
I graduated in June. I graduated with a bachelor's in business management, and I'll start back up in probably September with my master's.
Good job.
So, work, a lot of hours, a lot of homework, and try and do the projects at home too.
What do you guys do for fun? Like, what do you have?
He gets up at 3 in the morning and stays until he starts to work at 6 and gets home at 6.
So that's it.
That's his fun.
You commute that much?
Do you golf? That's what I was getting at.
No, I
knew
go to
he
work.
golfed.
I'm there at 3:30, and I crack open the book, study till 6 o'clock, work, and go home.
So you do golf though, Fernando?
I golf
when you can.
as much as in the winter, snowboard, mountain bike.
Snowboard?
Skiing.
Any other questions?
And the kids, we try and have them do the same.
So what do you speak in the home with your kids learning both languages?
We try and do both. English, try and do Spanish.
Oh, so one,
They don't
you
listen to my
speaking,
Spanish.
yeah.
Keep at it.
I tried this. That's the time.
Robert, Kimberly.
Come on up, Robert.
Busy.
Questions for Robert?
How much was the bread last to bleach his hair that color? I'm just kidding. He knows I love him. Never mind.
Marina?
How will you
you're able to lend such a beautiful wife.
There you go.
Paid a lot.
I had a mission companion that I hated, and he just wouldn't leave me alone, and that's how it happened.
She is very nice.
Okay, Susie, your baby looks so much like you.
That's a good thing.
This is Robert almost 30 years ago. I look at the baby and I think, oh, this is my baby.
Okay, Michelle?
Thank you.
I just want to say Tawni wins Mother of the Year because she had 2 kids close together and she still wants 6 more, 8 kids. She's a woman.
Oh, it's not set in yet.
Any other questions?
Yes, please tell us about school and living in Salt Lake.
I really enjoy living in Salt Lake. I guess some people feel that South Salt Lake isn't the place to be, but